Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from Clash Miami. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by S Fuels, Hoka, Master Spas, DeBoer Wetsuits, Premium Plus Sports, and, of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, wheelchair basketball player, Mr. Shane Mosko, joins us. Shane, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Bob. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Such a treat to get to meet you. So take me back. What were your sports growing up?
Yeah, so I played pretty much every sport. My main sport was soccer growing up.
Yes. And so was it 2012?
Yep.
That was a crash.
Yes.
What happened?
So I was I was under the influence. I was drinking and driving by myself, and I ended up getting in a car wreck. I was a mile away from my house.
Just a mile away from
Yep.
your house.
Yeah, we went out that night with friends. You know, I was 20 years old, and so as a young adolescent, adult, you know, just making bad decisions.
Right.
I made the bad decision of getting behind the wheel. I ended up flipping my car, got ejected about 50 feet. I didn't have my seatbelt on, which I wear 99.9% of the time.
Yes.
One time I didn't, saved my life. Car caught fire, burned down.
Oh, so it did say if you had been wearing your seatbelt, you would have died.
Yes.
Yep. Wow.
Yep. So divine intervention is my only answer to that.
So was it one of those things, you're laying in a hospital, man, if I had my belt on, I'd be dead, and that would be better than this? Or was it, I am so lucky to be alive?
For me, it was I'm lucky to be alive. You know, I always had a outlook on life where, you know, it's especially after this accident, it's up to me to be where I want to be in life.
Yes.
And I took that and ran with it, or rolled with it.
Rolled with it.
Yeah.
So while you're in the hospital, what did you know about adaptive sport, if anything?
Nothing. Nothing. And, you know, after the hospital, wheelchair basketball was actually the first sport that I got into. I was injured in Connecticut, and they had a wheelchair basketball team called the Connecticut Spoke Benders.
Okay.
And they were one of the original teams that started in the wheelchair basketball industry, and that was really my biggest support group as a newly injured spinal cord injury.
And coming back here to Florida, then you grew up here in Florida before going to Connecticut.
Yes.
Then you came back, and you found that wheelchair basketball is still big here.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So I ended up finishing college at FIU, Florida International University, and the Fort Lauderdale Sharks was one of the teams that I kind of knew from playing in the sport.
Right.
So practiced with them a few times in college where they had practices just to stay fit, meet some of the guys, and then when I moved back here, that was always a goal to come play for them.
And you got your business degree.
I did, yes. Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
And over time, how has, you know, obviously equipment changes in terms of wheelchair basketball? How much has that changed?
Yeah, so man, before they were playing in like hospital chairs. So you can imagine, you know, no straps, just going for it,
Yes.
you know, and they made it happen. But, you know, as time went on and they found better equipment, the game changed.
And this is the first year you've applied for CAF grant?
It is, yes.
Very cool. Now, how'd you find out about CAF?
Yeah, so just other people. So kind of first of all, thank you for everything that you do with CAF. I mean, you have no idea how many people with injuries that you've helped support and really advance their lives with sports and just all these different things that they can do now and really help their ability and help to live life to the fullest. So first of all, thank you.
You are so welcome, man. There's nothing better in the world. And
sure.
Because I think people underestimate the power of sport. They
do.
underestimate how much of a difference it makes, especially for people in the adaptive community, to have a sport.
For sure, for sure. You know, when I first got injured, I was like, man, what am I going to do? You feel like, you know, your life is over, and it's like,
where's your community? Who do I hang out with?
Exactly. And once I found sports, I mean, everything changed for me. Any sport I've ever done, I've pretty much done most of them, and you know, it's your whole world opens up and you really see, you don't think about being in a chair, you think about living, you think about competing, you think about being the best version of yourself you can be.
Right, and you want to beat that other guy.
Exactly.
You don't give a crap that he's in a chair.
Exactly.
you
exactly.
Want to win.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
So what are your goals with wheelchair basketball?
Yeah, so when I went to the Sharks, that was our first time as a D3 team coming together with a bunch of different new people.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning the national championship about 2 years ago.
Oh, that is so awesome. And what's your position? What do you play?
So I play point guard.
Nice. So you're the guy. You're Steph Curry.
A little bit. Try to be. But no, it's really a team sport, you know. So like I do what I can, and you know, it's everyone's together. So we're fighting together to beat the other guys and just working for each other, and that's the beauty of it.
My favorite is when I walk into a gym and I see all the guys playing wheelchair basketball, and there's a CF sticker on most of the chairs.
Yep. So that's how I really heard about CAF. Is a couple of the guys from the Spoke Benders had CAF grants. And,
Yes.
They got new chairs, and man, to get a custom chair that fits you specifically changes everything.
People don't get it. They think
They
a
don't.
chair is a chair, and it's sort of like wearing a size 12 shoe when you wear a 9.
100%.
If it doesn't fit, it's not responsive, and you
Correct.
can't play.
Correct.
Love that. Well, I mean, one of the things that we do at CAF, last year we sent out 3,996 grants, totaling about $7 million worth of grants.
Wow.
And seeing where you're going, one, we want you to be part of our CAF family.
Oh, I appreciate that.
All right. Two, one of our sponsors, 100% sunglasses, because obviously your future is pretty damn bright. So you're going to need
Appreciate
shades,
you.
my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then, I think I dropped it. I'm getting down.
We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. No,
So one of the things we do is we make sure people get the equipment they need, right, to stay in a game of life through sport.
No
And
way.
For Mr. Shane
No
Mosko,
way.
Challenge Athletes Foundation presents Shane Mosko with a 2024
Oh
grant
my
for an
gosh.
RGK
Wow.
Elite Basketball
Stop.
Chair.
Stop. Bob, thank you so much, man. Wow. Oh, I had no idea this was coming, man. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what to say.
Having a chair that fits you.
Yes.
That's going to make a difference.
Yes. Oh, man, it's going to change everything for me. Thank you so much.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. So with the,
Wow.
do you guys do a lot of travel as a
We
team?
do. We do. We went to Alabama this past year, Chicago as
Yes.
well. So, yeah, we're moving.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And just the dollars it takes to get the team to different places, that's always a challenge.
It is, and we have two teams so for Memorial Rehab Sharks in Fort Lauderdale, we have a Division I and a Division II team, and a women's team as well as a kids team. So really
Right.
4 teams, yeah.
That is so cool. And
sure.
so what tournaments, is this off season or in season?
So this is end season, this is peak season right now. So we
Okay.
have
So I got
nationals
you out of
coming up.
training this morning.
A little bit. No, the mornings I find my time.
Okay.
I find my time. But yeah, so we have nationals coming up in April. So
And
next
where are those
month.
at?
Those are in. So this year is in Richmond, Virginia.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not playing wheelchair basketball, how are you using your business degree?
Yeah, so I started a company called Roll Strong for medical supplies, and my dream with that is just like the name. It's like everybody has an opportunity to wake up and to be great,
Yes.
and to roll strong. We have these disabilities that we're going through, but it's like wake up and be the best version of yourself you can be, and that's what's most important. And my goal with Roll Strong is to just provide the best medical supplies I can, delivered right on time to people's front door, and you really get them what they need. Because in the industry, it sometimes it's tough for people in chairs to really get what they need. I understand it. I live it every day. So that's really my mission with Roll Strong.
And it's so important because when you have somebody who doesn't quite get it, it's like I can go into a hospital and talk to somebody. You roll in the hospital who's somebody who's become paralyzed. You have street cred.
For
Right?
sure.
You've
sure.
been there. You've gone through it. What was the lowest moment for you during all this?
Yeah, I think once you leave the hospital, right, you're going through everything. You're learning how to live life again, and then you get home, and it's like, now what?
And you're by yourself.
Right.
You're sort of isolated.
Exactly. So, you have really 2 paths you can go on. I tell people a lot. It's so much mindset when this happens to you, and you have to really take the positive way, right? You can't look at what you don't have. You have to look at what you do have and work with that and work on growing that.
Being 20 years old, and when this happened, right, you could have gone down a really bad path. Were there temptations there?
For sure. Definitely, for me, I did this to myself, and at the end of the day, it's up to me to be where I want to be. So I always took that outlook on life. I came to grips with what happened to me pretty quickly.
Yes.
And understood I made a mistake. These things happen, and what am I going to do with it now?
The fascinating thing to me is a lot of things people don't get it. Every time you leave the house, if you're in a wheelchair or missing a leg, and missing an arm, the spotlight's on you.
Definitely.
Right? You don't blend. You never
Definitely,
blend when you're in a chair. Was that tough at first?
For sure. I think that's really, when you're out into the world, that's when it hits you.
Right.
When, things aren't accessible. Even in the U.S., I mean, most things are, but a lot of things aren't. So it's
I
like,
know. Yeah.
and you really learn quickly it's like you have to adapt, and that's I think what it's all about is you take this as a challenge, right? So kind of Challenge Athletes Foundation, you challenge yourself to figure out ways to get things done that you want, and that's the only way to do it. It's all about thinking outside the box. Trying things is the biggest thing, is putting yourself out there to see what works and what doesn't.
I love that.
Yeah.
And have you, in terms of a wheelchair basketball chair, RGK Elite, that's a high end.
It is. It's really top of the line. Really best in the business right now, that and Performax. But I think RGK is what everyone's leaning towards. So I'm ecstatic to be in this chair.
I love it. Yeah, this is my favorite thing that we do. This is a time of year where we give out our grants, and what could be better than we're in Miami.
Unbelievable.
We live in this
man.
area.
Yeah. And
to be able to do this in person and let you know that one, we really are excited to have you part of our CF family. It's the greatest thing.
Yeah.
Because we know that you're going to help that next guy.
For sure.
That next woman who is struggling. They don't know what's next. They don't know what sports are out there. And that's what Shane does.
Definitely. It is a blessing, honestly. That's really the biggest word I can say. I'm so grateful to you presenting this to me and to be able to take my career to that next level.
So if you were speaking to somebody out there who's struggling right now, with the 20-year-old Shane Mosko, what do you tell that person?
Yeah, don't give up, look forward, keep pushing yourself to be the best person you can be, try new things. It gets better. The first couple years are hard because you're learning life, but life is not over. You can do all the things that you put your mind to. I recently did the Miami Marathon.
Did you really?
I did, yes. So this past marathon, it was the first time I actually pushed the 26.2 in a basketball chair.
You used a basketball chair?
I did.
I think next year's grant might need to be a racing chair.
Maybe. Yeah, and I did. I've done a few triathlons.
Have you really?
Para-triathlons, yeah. Up in Connecticut where I got injured.
Well, now that you're in Miami, this is triathlon capital of the world. Come on now.
And I definitely want to get back into it. So I think this is a calling for me to.
I love it. How fast did you go in your wheelchair, in your basketball chair?
Oh man, I wanted to do sub 3:30.
Yeah.
It took me probably 4:30ish.
Yes, but you're talking a heavy chair.
Yeah,
You get into a
sure.
racing chair in the right position.
For sure.
Now, the other thing I was reading, you've been involved with is it called the exoskeleton?
Yes. Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Exobionics. When I first got injured, it's amazing what technology is out there, and I think this has always helped me have the outlook I do on life. When I was first injured in inpatient rehab, I got to see a guy that was 4 years post-injury stand and walk in this exoskeleton. So he was completely paralyzed. This device helps anybody.
What is it? How does it work?
Yeah, so it's custom fit to you because there's all different segments to measure your body length. Once you get in the device, you have a walker, crutch, or cane.
Yes.
And it helps you to stand up and actually walk in a natural gait pattern. So I was very fortunate to use this in rehab. I think from right early on, it was like, man, there's going to have technology out there to help me walk again. So immediately that changed my whole perspective on being paralyzed. From there, I was actually able to work with the company. So I actually traveled all over the country, all over the world, promoting this exoskeleton.
Love it. Shane, thank you so much for driving over here, taking time, being on with us. More importantly, thank you for being a grant recipient. We'll be in later March. We'll be sending out grants all over the world. Last year, 3,996, totaling $7 million. I have a feeling we're sending out more grants to more challenged athletes, just like my man Shane, who is going to be kicking butt playing basketball. Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, Shane Mosko has been our guest. That's a great way to kick off our day. Again, Breakfast with Bob from Clash Miami. Hold on. We will be right back.